coming. This is the complaint of Jeremiah from Baruch, chapter 6. Letter, well, it's not the complaint, really. I don't know. Maybe. The letter of Jeremiah. This is a copy of the letter which Jeremiah sent to those about to be led captive to Babylon by the king of the Babylonians, to inform them of the instructions which God had given him. Because of the sins you have committed before God, you are to be deported to Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the Babylonians. Once you have reached Babylon, you're going to stay there for many years, as long as 7 generations. After which I shall bring you home in peace. Now in Babylon you will see gods made of silver, of gold, and of wood, being carried shoulder high, and filling pagans with fear. Be on your guard. Do not imitate the foreigners. Do not have any fear of their gods. As you watch their worshippers flocking before and behind them, instead say in your hearts, Master, it is you that we have to worship, for my angel is with you, for your lives will be in his care. Plated with gold and silver, their tongues polished by a smooth craftsman. They are counterfeit. They have no power to speak. As though for a girl fond of finery, these pagans take gold and make crowns for the heads of their gods. Sometimes the priests actually filch gold and silver from their gods to spend on themselves, even using it on presents for the temple prostitutes. They dress up these gods of silver and gold, wood, and clothes like human beings, although they cannot protect themselves either from tarnish or woodworm, in spite of the purple cloaks that they drape them in. Oh, they're just show clowns, circus show clowns. Their faces even have to be dusted. What's that thing called? Owing to the dust of the temple which settles thick on them. One holds a scepter like the governor of a province, yet is powerless to put anyone who offends him to death. Another holds a sword and axe in his right hand, yet is powerless to defend himself against war or thieves. From this, it is evident that they are not gods. Don't be afraid of them. Just as a pot in common use becomes useless once it's broken, so are these gods enshrined inside their temples. Their eyes are full of dust raised by the feet of those who enter. Just as the doors are locked on all sides on the man who has offended the king and is under the sentence of death, so the priests secure the temples of these gods with gates and bolts and bars of fear of burglary. They light more lamps than for themselves, and the gods cannot see one of them. They are like one of the temple beams gnawed away from within, so they say. They are like one of the temple beams gnawed away from within, so they say, by termites, which creep out of the ground and eat them. And their fine clothes too. They are unaware that their faces are blackened by the smoke that rises from the temple. Bats, swallows, birds of every kind flutter over their bodies or heads. Cats prowl there. From all this, you can see for yourselves that they're not gods. Don't be afraid of them. The gold with which they are plated is fine enough to look at. But if someone does not rub off the tarnish, these gods will not do much shining on their own. They felt nothing when they were being cast. However much was paid for them, there is still no breath of life in them. Being unable to walk, they have to be carried on men's shoulders shows how futile they are. It's humiliating for their worshippers too, who have to stand them up again if they fall over. Once they have been stood up, they can't move on their own. If they tilt askew, they can't right themselves. Offerings made to them might as well be made to the dead men. Whatever is sacrificed to them, the priests resell, pocket for profit, while their wives salt down part of it. But give nothing to the poor and to the helpless. As to the sacrifices themselves, why, women during their periods and women in childhood are not afraid to touch them. As you can see, these examples, they're not gods. Don't be afraid of them. Indeed, how can they even be called gods when women do the offering to these gods of silver, gold, and wood? It's in their temples. The priests stay sitting down, their garments torn, heads and beards shaved, heads uncovered. They roar and shriek before their gods, as people do at a funeral feast. The priests take the robes of the gods to clothe their own wives and children. Whether these gods are treated badly or well, they're incapable of paying back either treatment. As incapable, too, of making or unmaking kings, equally incapable of distributing wealth and money. If anyone fails to honor a vow he made to them, they cannot call him to account. They can neither save a man from death, nor rescue the weak from the strong, nor restore sight to the blind, nor save someone in trouble, nor take pity on a widow, nor be generous to an orphan. These are wooden gods, plated with gold and silver, are about as much use as rocks cut out of the mountainside. Humiliation awaits their worshippers. So how can anyone think or say that they're gods? The Chaldeans themselves do them no honor. If they find someone who is dumb and cannot speak, they present him to Bel, entreating him for the gift of speech, so that as if he could hear them. And they are incapable of drawing the conclusion and abandoning those gods. There is lack of common sense. Women with strings around their waist sit in the streets, burning bran like incense. When one of these has been picked up by a passerby and went to bed with him, then she twits her neighbor for not being singled out and for not having her string broken. Everything going on anywhere near these gods is spurious. How can anyone think or say that they are gods? Maybe by woodworkers and goldsmiths. They are only what those workmen decide to make. The makers have not long to live themselves. So how can the things they make be gods? Their legacy to their descendants is nothing but an illusion and disappointment. If war or disasters occurred, the priests discuss where best to hide themselves and these gods. How can anyone fail to realize that they are not gods? If they cannot save themselves from war and from disasters, and since in any case they are only made of wood, plated with gold and silver, it must be obvious from all this that they are spurious, and plain to everyone, to nations and kings, that they are not gods, but the work of human hands, and that there is no divinity activity in them. Can there be anyone still unconvinced that they are not gods? They can neither appoint a king over a country, nor give rein to mankind, nor regulate their own affairs, nor rescue anyone who suffers a wrong. They are helpless as crows between the skies and the ground. If fire falls in the temple of these wooden gods plated with silver and gold, their priests fly to safety, while they, for their part, stay there like the beams to be burnt. They cannot put up any resistance to a king or enemies. How can anyone think or say that they are gods? These are wooden gods plated with gold and silver. They cannot evade thieves or marauders, or violent men may rob them of their gold and silver and make off with the robes that they are dressed in. Yet they are powerless to even help themselves. Better to be king displaying his prowess, a household pot of use to its owner, than to be one of these false gods, or merely a door of a house protecting what is inside. Then these false gods are a wooden pillar in a palace that these false gods, the sun, the moon, the stars which shine, which have been given to do the work, are obedient similarly. The lighting as it flashes in a fine sight, in the same way the wind blows across every country, the clouds execute the order God gives them to pass over the whole earth, and fire sent from above to consume the mountain and forest carries out its orders. Now these gods are not equal either in beauty or power, so no one can think or say that they are gods, powerless as they are to administer justice or to do men any good. Therefore, knowing that they are not gods, do not be afraid of them. They can neither curse nor bless kings, nor produce signs in heavens for the nations, nor shine like the sun, nor shed light like the moon. The animals are better off than they, being able to make for cover and look after themselves. There is not the slightest shred of evidence that they are gods. Do not be afraid of them. Their wooden gods, plated with gold and silver, are like a scarecrow in a melon patch, protecting nothing. Again, the wooden gods, plated with gold and silver, are like a thorn bush in a garden. Any bird may perch on it. Or like a corpse thrown into the dark. From the purple and fine linen rotting on their backs, you will recognize that they are not gods. And in the end, eaten away themselves, they will be a disgrace to the country. Better than a virtuous man who has no idols. Disgrace will never come near him.